up, everybody? How much doing? Oh, no. I gotta adjust this camera a little bit more. How's that? Damn it, now you can't see the food. Sorry, my bad. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. How's everyone doing? This is Ben, and welcome to another episode of whatever this is. Today, we are doing a recipe that I figured out how to do over the weekend, the long weekend. And for those of you that live in Toronto and like the restaurant chain, I guess. I say chain because they have multiple locations, but I don't think they're really a chain. I just think they're, like, successful at what they do. The chain, or restaurant group, is Terroni. So if you like Terroni, might definitely want to stick around for this episode because we're doing a Terroni recipe clone that I did over the weekend, which turned out to be quite good. And it's the Lemon Caper Arugula Pasta. That's what we're doing today on stream. It's going to be a good one. Now, I already made this pasta dough ahead of time, and we're just kind of getting it ready, rolling it out, and all that kind of stuff. Now, with that being said, there's not a main theme to today's stream. Hey, look, that rhymed. Not like the student nutrition survival guide one. That was a good one. It was a good month, but it was just, at the end of that, I wanted to pause and reflect and be like, what are you doing? What are you aiming for? And all that kind of stuff. So out of that, I definitely had some thoughts, some feelings, some things I want to get across, and be like, hey, this is what's going on for the future of the stream. Don't get me wrong, I'm not debating you right now. There still very much will be a stream, but there's just going to be a couple of changes coming into place. So this is going to get a little bit technical, but okay, let's start talking about what the stream was originally made for. So originally, the point of this stream is to allow people that don't have financial resources to be able to talk to a dietitian free of charge while being entertained and all that kind of stuff, and cooking. That's what I love to do, and you know, I figured out a way to do it from home and make it so that it can really, I guess, reach a lot more people or whatever it might be. So that's what this stream largely is, right? It is a cooking stream that looks to talk about nutrition topics and to answer questions for people because nutrition is a confusing thing. And it is very hard for a lot of people, and I just want to be able to speak to the masses, the audiences, and all that kind of stuff, to kind of make it so that it's a little bit easier to approach and have your questions and be able to talk about all that kind of stuff. Now, I still very much have that goal. That hasn't changed at all. I still am very, very much dedicated to the idea of making sure that people without financial access to nutrition, get that financial access, have that barrier drawn down a little bit, right? So, because I, hate how the whole nutrition industry is going, or has been actually forever. So this is my way of being like, no, let's democratize health, or whatever, however you pronounce that word. So I want to be able to reach out to people, talk about nutrition a lot better, and make it so that it's a little bit more accessible and all that kind of stuff. That being said, this is the 21st stream, and I don't think it's going too well. Now, it's not a thing where I'm thinking like, oh, okay, it's not going well. In general, I just don't think YouTube is the place for live streaming. And, I felt this way for a while. It's been like 20 episodes in. I always want to give something about 3 months to see how it's going. before making a decision and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, recently, what's really, really funny about this is that on my newsfeed, there are a lot of content creators that are speaking about how YouTube streaming is kind of dead in the water. It's not really a place where your stream can grow. And there's a lot of content creators now moving back to Twitch, because what ended up happening was, and this is very technical stuff, it's like signing contracts and all that, and you know that could be very, very boring. So I get this. I apologize. It's not a nutrition talk day, it's a technical day. It's just what the future is ahead for this stream. And you know, the challenge is that ultimately YouTube as a platform is not a bad platform. I still intend to do YouTube stuff. I still very much plan to being on YouTube. It's just the challenge is that will the stream continue to live on YouTube? And the answer is no. The live stream in itself is going to basically move to Twitch. Now, the reason why is because, like I was saying, all these content creators are coming out here talking about how YouTube is not it in terms of a live streaming platform, and there's a lot of different reasons for that, not all of which I fully understand or fully remember, but there's a lot of different reasons for that. And ESN's still very, very much going to live on YouTube. I'm still going to produce content for YouTube, still going to very much create that Road to TCS marathon, half marathon series, and any other future race plans and all that kind of stuff on here. Still very much going to do that. However, the live stream aspect of this is going to move to Twitch. Now, the reason why is because Twitch as a platform is much more friendly in regards to helping streamers like myself be able to find or help people find people like me that are looking for content like this. So they, amongst these content creators that I watch and all that kind of stuff, they're talking about how Twitch is much, much better at helping people be found and all that kind of stuff. What I didn't realize, and I kind of started to suspect this toward the end, like towards summer student month and all that kind of stuff, because it was a giant push for me to try to get new subscribers and new viewers and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I created the Student Survival Guide, which I thought was going to be a big hit. Now, there was a lot of things that I thought were going to compete against it at that time. Obviously, the Olympics, and I mean, I didn't think baseball was really going to compete against it, but it might have. So the challenge ultimately ended up being, why wasn't this stream growing, right? It was, and I appreciate this, the OGs. Every week I have 3 viewers, like, just die hard, that are willing to be here and all that kind of stuff. And I love you all so, so, so much for that. But it's just like, to me, I'm like, wait on, hold on. I've done everything that, you know, you should be doing to grow a stream. You know, could I have been promoting it a little bit better? Sure. But that's not the point right now. The point is, why hasn't the viewership grown nearly at all? There was one day where there was like, oh, you have 7 viewers right now, or like 5 viewers at once. Now, that was like a really, really good day. But the challenge is, like, ever since then, nothing really happened. And it turns out, according to these other content creators that are much bigger than me, apparently YouTube only kind of pushes your live stream notifications to people that are already subbed to you, not people that are not subbed to you. So basically, it's really hard to grow your audience on YouTube. And this is reflected in a lot of other streamers that have kind of, and this is where it gets licensee a little bit. There's a lot of big streamers out there that have, you know, exclusivity contracts with Twitch. That, you know, they signed a contract for YouTube streaming. So contractually, they had to keep streaming on YouTube for some time or something like that. And a lot of these content creators, a lot of these streamers, live streamers, their exclusivity contract with YouTube has recently just ended, and they're all going back to Twitch, and they're all saying very, very similar things about how it split up their audience base, it didn't do too much to help them grow, YouTube doesn't prioritize the live streaming aspect of its website and all that kind of stuff. But, and I'm like, is this, and don't get me wrong, I'm like very, very aware of how hard it is to become a streamer. I'm not stupid about that, but like, come on, like no growth whatsoever for the stream. That was a tough pill to bite off, you know? So I looked at the reasons why and found out that, oh, it's because like YouTube's not pushing the streams in the algorithm or stuff like that. It's not really pushing the notifications, it's not doing all those kind of things that I was really hoping it would do. So, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I know the videos I upload are getting views, and I'm really grateful for that. But it seems to be prioritizing the edited content more so than anything else, the stream content. So, what I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks to a few months is figuring out, okay, I'm going to be moving to Twitch. That much is for sure. That's the big announcement. ESN is going to Twitch to stream, and because there's a lot of different reasons. One, you can reach more people. Two, it's a more friendly platform to make money off of and all that kind of stuff, because eventually I do want to make a little bit of money. You know, this is still going to be a free stream. However, it's the ad revenue that I'm looking for, right? That's not going to cost the viewers anything, really. It'll be annoying, but it's not going to cost the viewers anything. So what I'm going to do is double dip and do YouTube content as well as Twitch live streams, and then pull the full version of the Twitch live streams to YouTube in case, because I know that Twitch is not a perfect platform. There are things that are not so great about it. For example, the ads apparently are really, really prohibitive to a lot of different things. Like, it will just randomly through the middle of your stream just start like playing an ad or something like that. So there's a lot of information that a lot of people can miss. So what I do plan on doing is taking those recorded live streams, moving them to the full unedited version to YouTube as soon as I possibly can after the live stream is done, and then to have the edited down versions eventually. I keep talking about that, but I'm finally going to do it because I'm finally getting more confident at editing, which is really, really hard, but still something I want to get a good understanding of before I start offsetting that to someone else. So that's what the plan is right now, and that's why, like, today we're not really making any content in terms of, hey, this is like this theme of the month, this is this theme of the month. As great as an idea that is, I want to retry that with Twitch and see what happens there, along with just like cooking. I do want to just like chill a little bit more, vibe out a little bit more, and just start cooking and just focusing on the cooking. So that's going to happen, and that's the big announcement. So, you know, thank you for those that are watching on YouTube, but I just, as a platform, YouTube is just not it for live streaming. And I'm going to move to Twitch. I'm going to give my chances shot on Twitch. And we're going to do some equipment upgrades in the next little bit. We are going to do some, what is it? Other content in a little bit, and we're going to play around with a few different days. What's going to work best for people, what makes the most sense. Right now I'm thinking like of giving Tuesday nights a try, and maybe a weekend day, like a Sunday night or something like that, just to do some more. But we'll see on that. No promises on the dates. Right now, I don't know if we might just stick on Wednesday, to be perfectly honest with you, because I'm not sure if Wednesday is an L day for streaming this kind of content, or if it's just the fact that I've been having a not so great time streaming on YouTube as a platform. So, got to figure those things out, but either way, something's got to change because the numbers aren't good enough for me, to be perfectly honest. It's not to my standard, especially the way I've been putting in work to kind of grow this thing. So, you know, I'm not disappointed at all. It's always good to have a good learning experience, right? But after a period of time, you have to learn the lesson and actually do something with the information. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to try Twitch, and we're going to move the stream there, and we're going to do a couple of things. So, you know, that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what we're doing today. And then we're just cooking this pasta dish right now. Lemon Caper Arugula Pasta from Terroni. Made this over the weekend for someone. Turned out really, really good. And I was just like, hey, you know what? I have a whole bunch of those leftovers. Let's just do it again for stream. Since we're just chilling and low stakes today, we're just kind of vibing out here. So, yeah, that's the big announcement. Anyone in chat, let me know what you think. But yeah, we're moving away from YouTube streaming. YouTube was just not it. So that's the announcement. I'm glad you all like it. All right, so we got our pasta cut up. Boom. And what we're going to do now is kind of get this off the thing. Oh, the other reason why I want to move to Twitch too is because there's a bigger culture of engaging with chat. Here sometimes, because there's not a lot of viewers, obviously, I feel weird just chatting. But at the same time, one of the biggest things about streaming is that you have to kind of be interesting every few seconds, and that's a lot of pressure. It is a lot of pressure. So one of the biggest things is on chat, because there is more engagement, more people, more viewers, more everything, and they're more willing to promote your stream to other people. Then one of the biggest things that, you know, we want to really look at is, of course, how we can get more engagement, right? That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Making those viewer numbers go up and making me happy. But yeah. All right, so there's that. That's the announcement. I didn't want to debate it till the end. But yeah, we're just now cooking the rest of my dinner, and we're just going to be really chill and all that kind of stuff. So let me know what y'all think. If, you know, I know some people just like to sit back and relax too and watch us stream. That's completely fine. That's completely fair. But yeah, I'm hoping to change that up a little bit. So right now we did one of the harder things, which is made the pasta, all that kind of stuff. We are now going to prep up the ingredients. So we got a few different things we need to prep up. We got garlic, but we're not actually going to use the garlic. We've got lemon. We need the juice and rind of a lemon, of two actually we're going to use, and then lots of Parmesan cheese. So what I'm going to do right now is do this in stages, right? I'm going to take my zester, because I'm going to use the same zester for the Parmesan as the lemon juice. So what I'm going to do is basically, before I zest these, because I want a lot of the zest compound in here, we're going to roll this on the cutting board and loosen up the juices. All right. And then this one as well. I'm going to use 2 lemons here. And then we're just going to zest these into the bowl, because that way you can get a lot more lemon flavor, because there's a ton of flavor in the rinds, the zest of the thing. Now you don't want to go all the way to the white, because you're going to get a lot of bitterness from it. You just want the top layer. And the reason why you want the top layer is because that's where a lot of flavor and a lot of the oils live. So we're just zesting the top layer of the lemon before we juice it. Alright, so that's basic, all the rind I'm going to get off that without having it go bitter. It's the same technique for pastry too, by the way. If you're using lemon or citrus rind in your baking, you just want the rind. You don't want the deeper white stuff that comes off after the top layer, because that is bitter and it's not going to taste good in your recipes, especially from a pastry standpoint. So, grinding this up. Right. Lemon. Gonna quickly rinse this off. Hope it dries up a little bit so that I can use it for a good healthy amount of Parmesan cheese. So we have the lemon rind there. We're going to get another bowl. I'm going to start juicing up these lemons. And we're going to use the juices for the sauce. So, have the lemon here. We're just going to chop it in half. And then I also have some lemon wedges here too, used for some adult beverages. We're just gonna squeeze this in. It doesn't matter about the rind, it doesn't matter about the pulp or anything like that. This is how I'm just squeezing it in, because I'm just gonna strain this in a little bit. We're gonna strain all the pulp out, strain out the seeds and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Just kind of get in there, get a lot of those juices out. Then, hold on, let me see here. Nice. All right, and then we're gonna strain a little bit more. Oh, it's such a gross sound. Oh, that sounds funny. All right, there's that. I'm going to take these lemon wedges that were used for beverages. Just going to squeeze out anything they got in there. Then I'm just going to strain this out a little bit. Nice. I'm going to use that to organics bin later on. Just going to take this right now, and then we're going to strain it to another bowl. Basically getting all the pulp out and all the seeds. We don't want those. Cool. Now, of course, this is an Italian recipe, so of course there is garlic in here. However, we're not using garlic the traditional way. We are using garlic a little bit differently. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to, because I want to use this bowl. I want to use the metal bowl for the Parmesan. Take the lemon rind, put that in that bowl. Clean this bowl out real quick. Then we're going to start grating up the Parmesan. All right. Should be dry. And good to go. Now, we're going to use a healthy amount of Parmesan because, well, I like flavor. So we're just going to take this whole chunk of Parmesan, grind up a good amount of it. Like good. Whew. Oh. Wouldn't be a live show without a screw up. Well, that's okay. It's not a big screw up. Okay, that should be good enough. Now we're going to use this again for the topping later on, because we want to add more Parmesan cheese. Okay, so we're going to leave that over there. We're going to use something, a recipe, an ingredient that I don't particularly like too much, but hey, it's the second thing, right? Lemon caper. we're going to use capers. Da, 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 da. And I don't want too much capers in here, so what we're going to do is strain the caper juice and just get the capers. There's about a tablespoon of capers in here. I'll put this back in. Seal this back up. Fridge it. And then I'm going to cut these up briefly and then put them back in the ramekin that I just used. So you don't want to mince these up too much. You just want to have a quick pass through so that you're not having a whole caper. That's good enough. All right. Ingredients are coming together. Now, the last thing we kind of need is the garlic. Now, this recipe has garlic in it. However, not whole garlic, which is weird, right? But I'm going to show you all a little bit of a cooking technique to kind of extract garlic flavor out of garlic without actually having garlic in the final recipe. Because according to the person that was like, oh, I want to cook this I want you to cook this recipe this weekend, garlic is not the vibe in here. You want a little bit of the flavor, but not the whole thing. So you don't want the actual garlic in there. What you almost want to do is kind of like a deep fry of the garlic in the butter. And then, I mean, basically that's a confit recipe that I basically did. So you just want to take off the garlic skins, crack open the garlic, and then we're going to make some garlic oil. Now, I don't have olive oil, and the reason why is because it's bloody expensive nowadays. So what I'm just going to use is sunflower oil that I have, because it worked. I did over the weekend. It works just as good. Probably not as Italian, authentic Italian as you'd want it to be if you're like genuinely like, oh, I love this recipe from Terroni. So keep that in mind. Really, I would ideally be using olive oil, but I don't have any because it's expensive. So we're doing this with what we got. Okay, so we got all these things chopped up. It's looking real good. Now what we're going to do is basically get some water on boil, because that's going to start to come together pretty quick. And then we're going to move everything to that side of the room. So water on the pot, put that on the heat, and then what we're going to do now is start frying up or cooking up some of this stuff. We also have butter here as an ingredient because it needs to pull together. So what I'm going to do is just cut a chunk or two of butter, and then we're going to be able to use it. So we don't need too much, but it depends who you are. Now, you might not know this, but I don't like cooking with a recipe. So there's no recipe here. So we're using that much garlic. Boom. All right. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to move everything over there, and mic in the video and everything, because we're going to start cooking. This is a very, very quick recipe, so, you know, everything's going to move pretty quickly. Angle this down. Let's see. What's this? Oh, we'll move this out of the way. All right, less visual clutter, even though I'm very, very visually cluttered. All right, so what I'm going to do is turn this on a medium heat, medium low, because what we're going to do here is try to confit some of the garlic. which means extract a lot of flavor out without having to actually use any of the garlic in the final finished product, basically. So, just turning that on right now. And it's going to use a little bit of salt in the pasta water, obviously. Let that come to a boil. And then, can't forget the arugula. It's right here. Attitude arugula. So, I know you can't probably see this, but there's a little bit of water in here. I'm just going to let that boil off before I go in with oil and start extracting a lot of the garlic flavor out of the garlic. Because I don't want it to splatter. Oil and water don't mix well together. So, you don't want that. By the way, for those of you that are watching right now that are into fantasy football, I just drafted my team last night in my league, my one league. And I've got I'm really happy with my team. Really happy with my team. I've got my first round draft pick. I got the first first pick of the draft. I obviously drafted Christian McCaffrey, and then because, well, I'm not going to go down the way drafts work, but I then picked up, but then I picked up Josh Allen and Rashee Rice. Cooper Kupp and then Josh Allen, and then Rashee Rice with Raheem Mostert, Mark Andrews. I got a lot of the players I wanted to get. The only players I didn't get were the kickers and the defense, which is fine, whatever. I got Rashee Rice as a second wide receiver. I got, who's that new guy that is really tied to Caleb Williams? I got him, the new rookie wide receiver. And then I got, who else? A couple of really good guys. I got Ezekiel Elliott. Don't know if he's going to be good at all, how they're going to use him, but we're going to watch it anyways. I got stock in a lot of the teams that I wanted to get stock in, which I'm really happy about. So, that's really good. So, very happy with my fantasy football draft. The football starts tomorrow, which is why, for the streams, they're never going to be Monday or Thursday night because I'm going to be busy watching football. It's either going to stay on Wednesdays, go to Tuesdays, maybe some Sundays. I don't know. We're going to figure that out. But right now, let's get back to this recipe. So we got the garlic here. We got the oil in the pan. We're just going to kind of put that in there and let that just really cook down really quickly, but very slowly. And I'm just going to let that come up to a medium heat, and we're just going to move this around a little bit. Now, there's not a lot of... I'm just going to move that here so it's as submerged as possible, but we're just going to let that go slowly so that everything all the flavor gets extracted as much as possible. And then we're going to pick that off, and then we're going to save it in this jar. This is the stuff that I had from the weekend. You see how it's nice and dark and all that kind of stuff. But we're just going to put that in here, and then we're going to use this garlic for something else later on. Because it's still good garlic. You just don't want that garlic in this recipe. Right? So... we go. Just extracting all the flavor from the garlic just by doing this. It's like a confit style of cooking, which is very, very French. It's a French style. Like you can have duck confit, you know, a lot of confit stuff, confit, garlic. It's really, really good. Such a great way of cooking, but of course, no dietitian is ever really going to do this, except for me. Yeah, so we're just going to let that cook up a little bit, and then once it's ready to pull out, I'm going to put it in the jar, and then add in the butter, and then we're going to start throwing things together really, really quickly. Now, like I said, it is very, very quick. So what I'm going to do basically is hopefully this times out to the water boiling as well. And then we can put the all the pasta in, cook it all up, and then we're going to be able to put it into the pan in a little bit. So. I'm just doing this live, but honestly, like if I was still cooking in the kitchen professionally, I would have a whole bunch of garlic confit up with the oil already done, so it's not like a big deal. Because this is extremely inefficient when we're talking about like on the actual order up kind of style of cooking, which is, you know, most restaurants, right? So, ta-da. We're also going to use one of my favorite cooking utensils, chopsticks. And what we're going to do with that is we're just going to basically, once the noodles hit the pan or hit the water, I'm going to use that to separate them because it works a lot better than like most other things. Like I could use this obviously for sure, but because I made a spaghetti, a thinner noodle, then, you know, it's just going to be a little bit easier to have the chopstick kind of separate everything and keep it separated. All right. So you see a lot of the garlic there already browning up a little bit. I will say that this recipe is going to create, or I mean, the way of, because my pan is so big, this is going to generate a lot of oil for me. So what I'm going to do is put it into a separate container and then combine it together with the butter and all that kind of stuff. Because I most likely won't be using it all, but you know, still want it. So you can probably see this where the garlic is starting to brown a little bit. I'll leave it in for just a little bit longer to get as much flavor out of that as possible. But remember, the emphasis on this is not garlic as a flavor in this recipe, because you're working with capers, you're working with butter, you're working with all these other kind of ingredients that, you know, you want garlic there, but you don't want it to dominate everything, which is why we're kind of doing it like this. Water is boiling, it's ready to go. So what I'm going to do is start pulling the garlic out of the pan. That's why you don't chop it up very, very much. You want to leave it in as big and intact as possible, because you just want to be able to pull it right out of the pan and put it in the jar. Done. Now we have this garlic for another use. No waste. And then what we're going to do is use this oil. We're just going to throw half of it in here. So we have that much. But then I left a little bit in the thing, in the pan. So what I'm going to do is turn this down to a medium low, and then we're going to start to put in some of the other ingredients in here, right? We're going to leave it really, really low. The water's going right now. So what I'm going to do is toss the noodles in the water. 3 portions of it. Take the chopsticks, start moving that around. Got to keep it separated. Okay, while that comes to a boil, what I want to do is basically start adding in the butter. Then what we're going to do is control the heat on this. Now at home, because I have electric range, you want to control the heat by moving it on and off the pan, okay? On and off the element, I should say. So that's going to mix up. You're going to want to use the pasta water strategically because it really helps emulsify everything in a little bit. But that's happening right now. Lower that even more, a little bit more. It's almost like a brown butter, so that's really, really nice. But you definitely want to control the heat on this a little bit more. Okay, you don't want that to burn. You want to be able to have an element that's basically sitting there that you can move to. And then while this pasta is cooking up, put the butter in there a little bit too early. That's okay. It's still going to taste really, really good. Just moving around the pasta a little bit until it's getting cooked. Now the thing with fresh pasta is the moment it starts like boiling up aggressively, it's done. You want to move it off the thing. So what we're going to do is basically wait for that to happen. It's going to happen very, very soon. And then we're just going to be able to combine everything in all at once. So what I mean by everything, we're going to put in the lemon rind together with the capers, and then we're just going to toss it up with the arugula, right? That's how we're going to do this. It's going to be delicious. I had it over the weekend. Not ingredients that I thought would go well together. They work together very, very well. It's a very nice balanced dish. Nice and tasty. Still creamy, but the lemon flavor really lightens up everything. It really, really does. So that's about to go. I'm going to put this back on the heating element. What we're going to do is throw this together real quick. Now, because I have multiple batches that I'm going to make with this, I'm going to make sure I use only half the capers and half the lemon right now. So half the capers in. Half the lemon rind in. Off the element so they don't burn. There we go. This is already done up. It's ready to go. Lemon juice, half of it in. Can't forget about the Parmesan, ever. Half of that in. Combine that together. I wish you could smell it in here right now. You know that like episode of Futurama where they talk about the professor's useless inventions and the smellogram is one of them? It's not so stupid if we're talking about cooking shows. Okay, so that's basically done. What we're going to do is basically now use the arugula. Actually, you know what? Let's use all the arugula. Finish off the rest of the capers because I don't think I'm going to be able to stretch the ingredients I have out towards the rest of it. It'll just be really, really tasty. There we have it. It's pretty much done. A lemon caper arugula pasta. Now this is really, really tasty. I'm going to throw a little bit of pasta water in there. Helps bring everything together, the emulsion. Just a little bit more, and it's done. All right. So what I'm going to do is take this off the heat. We're going to plate it up. So I'm going to move you all back over here to the other side of the kitchen. And then we're going to plate this up, and then we're going to do a taste test. Now, like I said, I already tried this over the weekend. It's really, really good, though. Let's see how I did today. Let's use a black dish. There we go. All right. So. Whoa. All right. Oh, I also forgot to put the black pepper in. That's okay. Put it in live fresh at table side, but most importantly right now, kind of give this a little bit of a wipe. So the presentation is very important. The black pepper. I really like black pepper. That's why I'm using so much. And now, Parmesan. Boom! Ta-da! We have it. Lemon Caper Arugula Pasta. All right, I'm going to take a photo of this, sign off, and then we are going to basically eat it. Okay. All right. So, time to try this out. Now, I hope it's better because, you know, the goal of cooking is to get better at what you're doing. But it's a very simple pasta dish. No meat. I just wanted a big old plate of carbs today. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. Cheers. Here's how this goes. All right, let's see. Yeah. All right. Sweet. Cheers. Mmm. Oh, this is so good. Definitely improved from the weekend. A little bit of salt. Would be really good. I salted at the table because I didn't know how much the capers were gonna really lend into the flavors. But it's so good. Honestly, this is so good. I get why this is on a restaurant menu. But that's basically it. That's how you get the garlic flavors in without actually having garlic in this, because the garlic would overpower literally everything else. It's a good amount of capers, not too much. That's good for me. Obviously, you can adjust as you want. I used approximately a tablespoon for this. Go higher if you want. I wouldn't be surprised if the original recipe is like going decently high. The arugula might have been cooked a little bit too much, but that's okay. It's nice and creamy. It's still got a lot of flavor. You can taste everything. You can taste that lemon coming through. It's a smash hit. It's a win. It's so good. Yeah, I just wanted a big old plate of carbs for dinner tonight. This was delicious. It's so good. Anyways, okay. So that's it today. I see there's 2 people watching right now. I appreciate you so much. Please like, please subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Yeah, but next time I see you, hopefully we'll see you on Twitch. And, you know, hopefully the stream will grow and we'll get more people exposed to nutrition, talking to me, your sports dietitian, your online virtual sports dietitian. And, yeah, hopefully we can see where it goes on Twitch, right? Gotta change something. But there will be announcements. Stay tuned. Thank you for those of you that are watching. Your loyalty means the world to me. Please like, please subscribe, please comment down below. But we'll see you in the next video. Cheers. Man, I ate the whole thing in front of you right now. So good.